Hello and welcome to the Maverick Championship Wrestling wrap-up show here after Shootout on a Monday night. I am your host, the D-Train, and we are here to do exactly what we do every Monday night right after the wrap-up show, and that's wrap it up. After the Shootout show, wrap it up. Something I've never been able to do when it comes to the bedroom, but for some reason I can do that here. Wrap it up. All right. Manny got the link shared out there in a couple of places in Skype. I'm going to share it out on the Facebook page. If you want to share it out on Twitter, which I think this is the only time my live shows don't go out on Twitter is when we do the wrap-up shows. That's because I can't figure out how to do that. So I don't know how to do that one. That's that simple. All right. Well, the first thing we do here on the wrap-up show is wrap up the night's action. That's right. We're going to go over the card, who won, who lost, how they won, how they lost as best I can before we start bringing in some guests. All right, match one, we saw the no-holds-barred Unleashed title match. That's right, the Suffering. Last week with their win over the Psychedelic Outlaws, got the opportunity to face each other for Shifty's Unleashed title. And Pain was able to come out victorious over Agony. I truthfully thought Agony dominated most of the match, but in the end, Pain was the one to pick up the victory and be your new Unleashed champion. Match two was billed as a new Ruthless member to take on Pegasus Jalen Paul. Well, in fact, we actually got two new Ruthless members, as Lord Amadeus makes his return to Maverick Championship Wrestling, and he's escorted to the ring by one Alexander Stone, also of Ruthless. They go on against Pegasus Jalen Paul. Jalen, new look for him as well. I'm not sure what to make of that, but this fight spilled to the outside of the ring. Craziness happened. Up the ramp went Lord Amadeus. As he's coming back, Jalen catches him, puts him in that crossface, and Lord Amadeus taps out to the crossface. Match three saw Wrestling Mama go one-on-one with Shulky. In this one, it was a back-and-forth battle of the Titans. As these two women, big move after big move, it was hard to see an advantage at any point for either one. But in the end, Shulky pulls off the victory over Wrestling Mama. Match four, Unleashed title shot contender. That's right, the winner of the match would get a shot next week against Pain for the Unleashed title, as that title is defended every week on Shootout. It was Demon Joker Adam Angel set to take on Air Rhino Jordan Brisson. These two faced off before in a blood elimination. The only offense that Adam Angel really got out in this one were some headbutts to Jordan, trying to bust him open. But in the end, the Air Rhino took it to Adam Angel, took him down, got the victory, and will move on to face Pain next week for the Unleashed title. We went back to some ladies' action as the Fallen Angels, Angelita Nightwalker and Mrs. U-Taker, were set to take on Marzana Rage and Jenna Rage, the Rage Girls. Back and forth it would go. Angelita doing a bulk of the work for her mom. But in the end, Marzana Rage, I think she did like 55 or 60 moonsaults on Mrs. U-Taker. I'm exaggerating maybe a little. But still, several moonsaults, and Marzana Rage able to pick up the victory for her team. Next up, we had Blaze McCoy going up against a mystery opponent. The mystery opponent, none other than the immortal one, Griffith Davian, making his return to the Maverick. As the match gets started, Lord Amadeus comes out from the back. Griffith Davian didn't seem surprised by it, but when LA gets in the ring, he taps Griffith. Griffith goes down. The referee calls for the bell, giving Griffith the victory by DQ. Strange happenings there. I think something is up in that one. But we go on to the main event, the 10-man Rumble. The winner gets to select the entry positions for this Wednesday's Shootout title chamber match. Mad Outlaw, Ripper Springhill, Rain, Riverstar, Drum Monkey, Crimson Ninja, Brandon Ace, James Harris, and Ethan War, are all in this one. I got to say, Reigns stole the show. He starts off the match with Matt Outlaw. 5 eliminations later, Drum Monkey and War are able to team up to get the big man over the top rope and eliminate him. And in the end, it is James Harris from the Universal title tournament who will get to set the chamber entrance orders this Wednesday for the shootout title. Interesting, like I said, comings and goings on there. Oh, crap. I forgot to share this out one other place. I thought Minnie did, and it was a different place than I thought. There we go. All right. So now, you've heard the show. That's right, shootout wrapped up. I've only got a couple guests in the waiting room, and I didn't really say what order we were going to go with. So how about this? Let's just bring them both on, as they both want to talk at the same time anyway about the same things. That's right. I'm going to bring in none other than Bill Haight and the mighty Minerva, the leader of Ruthless and the one that's been overseeing the Ruthless comings and goings here in Maverick Championship Wrestling. How are y'all doing tonight?
We're doing just fine.
Doing
How
great.
are you, Dee?
Doing very good. Doing very good. Coming to you. I don't know what that says. All right. Well, I don't know where to start tonight. Ruthless was all over the place. I think the main event's probably the best place to start. It was the one thing that seemed to go extremely well for Ruthless up to a point, and that was Reign and his dominance in that 10-man Rumble.
That man did some work.
I mean, we don't recruit slackers.
I will say he's been steadily improving since we relaunched, stepping in with the tag team at one point, picking up a victory there, qualifying himself for the shootout chamber. He's doing good work. But did he make himself a threat? And with somebody else now setting the pecking order for shootout chamber, could he be in a bad spot?
Let's be honest, Dee. We all know that they were going to target Ruthless anyway because they know we're the biggest threat in Maverick.
True.
So James Harris having the decision-making ability, not a concern.
I mean, if it was a concern, I don't know. Something bad could happen. I
There we
mean,
go, I guess.
Stone is in the locker room out back after all.
Accidents happen all the time.
Yeah. Would hate to have a stone fall on him.
An ominous warning, I guess, is the best way to say that. But from what I heard, Stone is out back chasing Demon Joker out of the parking lot. Something about clowns.
Yeah.
He doesn't like them. He never has.
No. Something from his childhood. He don't talk about it.
I don't like to pry.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll move off of Reign. The only other thing maybe from that is the modern-day Warrior, Ethan Moore, didn't have a very good showing in that match, and he'll be going for the Universal title this week, his first match against War. Anything y'all want to give up game plan-wise there?
Why would he put himself out in a match that ultimately doesn't matter to him when he has a title match in 2 days?
True. You know, we don't want the kid to get hurt before he faces off against somebody like War.
Well, that is true, and a good point, I will say. So, even being my son, it's funny that I didn't know the plan. That's kind of strange.
We've talked about why you don't know the plan.
I know. We go over it all the time because I blab a lot, and with these shows, I can blab even more. All right, so let's get into Lord Amadeus and Griffith Davian. I don't know where to start. Do we start with the upset of Lord Amadeus in the first match? Do we start with there's no other way to put it, cheap win against Blaze McCoy?
It's not our fault that your referees are badly trained.
Yeah.
Well,
2 matches at the same time. That's awfully weird.
We could definitely say that the ref blew both of those matches in a way. Let's start with the LA match. He was in no position to call a tap-out victory. He was in no position to count 3 counts.
You had a point there where LA could have pinned Jalen for 2 minutes straight, and the ref didn't even bother to start counting until almost the end.
Very true.
But in fairness, part of that was he was afraid to go around Alexander Stone.
Then you definitely need better referees. You don't
Yeah.
need referees who can't handle themselves around the wrestlers.
I mean, what would happen if he was calling a match for Stone then? I mean,
this is true, but I think the concern was if he turned his back on Stone, which he would have had to make that count. I don't know. I'm trying to make a point, but I'm honestly ruthless, and I agree that the ref was out of position, and that shouldn't have happened. So then we go to the next match where the referee calls for a disqualification in a no disqualification match.
Yeah, what's that about, D?
Well, I want to know how LA knew that would work.
How LA knew what would work. He was yelling out there to just make sure that Griff was ready to go.
Yeah, as far as I know, LA was going out there because he said it looked like LA had Griffiths had something in his eye and he needed to go out there and remove it. And then he
was just being a concerned tag team partner.
Yep.
You know how it is when you're in a tag team. You got to look out for each other.
Well, I did find it interesting. Griff, although he's a man, he'll go to the ring by himself all the time. Ruthless's MO has been somebody going to the ring with him most of the time. Griffith didn't have anybody go to the ring. Was LA supposed to go to the ring with him initially?
I don't think so.
No, Griffith's very independent. You know how he is.
If we really wanted LA to be out in the ring with Griff, he would have been there. I mean, we sent Stone out with LA, or we could have set Stone out with Griff himself, again. But we honestly didn't think that Griff would need somebody against somebody like Blaze. I mean, after all, how many times have I kicked his ass?
And Griff has as well. And Blaze himself is saying, you're definitely not getting the best of Blaze anymore. You're getting what's left of Blaze.
Right. I mean, that's straight from his own mouth. So
that's true, but he's giving it every fight he can have, or every bit he has. He's giving it out there. So I think he wanted the match. I think he wanted to see what Griff had. Griff coming back, he kind of wanted to spoil that debut. Mm-hmm. Didn't get that chance, and I'm sure Blaze is going to be upset about that. And he'll probably be blowing up my phone later. I'm sure he's busy at the moment, or he'd probably be doing it right here.
And personally, I'm more worried about, something that was brought up, what was it, last week, I believe, and now your refs are working against Ruthless, and that's this whole eternity thing. I'm just putting that out there.
Maybe Eternity's recruiting referees instead of wrestlers. I don't know.
I mean, that's technically the only way. Never mind. We don't want to stir that pot. No, do we?
Well, Mordrin baited the hook, and he hasn't really reeled anything in with it yet. But he said Eternity's back, and he has left it at that so far. We wait and see what that means.
I mean, I could say I found Jimmy Hoffa. That doesn't make it true.
Well, yeah. James Harris has got a shot at the Universal title. I think that's big for him right now. Maybe that's where his focus is. I don't know. All right, let's see. Is there anything else on tonight's card that was Ruthless related? I don't think so. That's quite a bit already. Yeah, that was it for Ruthless tonight. While I've got both of you, and since nobody else is in the green room, let's talk about Wednesday's pay-per-view. So we got the Shootout Chamber. We talked a little bit about it with Rain. We now know James Harris is going to set the pecking order for that one. So we'll move on from that. The four-way TLC match for the Madness title. Obviously not Ruthless related because it's the Madness show. Ruthless is going to be mostly on Shootout. Wade Braddock will face Junior McCoy, Facade, and Black Dice for that title match. Any predictions or thoughts on that match from either of you?
I don't like Junior McCoy's chances. That's some big boys he's got to face.
See, I have I actually think the reverse on that.
Oh?
Yes. After all, there's only one person I can think of that doesn't like Blaze as much as me, and that is Junior. So I'm going to root for his son.
Well, he's definitely turned things around here, and I kind of agree with you, Bill. In a match with the big guys, it is a TLC match. That title is going to be hanging above the ring. McCoy might be quicker up a ladder than the other three.
True.
So maybe something there. I think it'll be a hell of a slobber knocker. I like Black Dice. I make no secrets about that. I always have. I actively recruited him for Ruthless at one point.
I'll say one time
It never happened.
Yeah, he was on our short list for a long time, and then somehow a little bird got her claws into him.
Yeah, we opened the Wrestling Academy, and I think we all got some better, younger talent that kind of caught our eyes, and maybe we didn't have to chase after the established stars as much. I think that's kind of what happened there, but I don't know. Let's see. Next up, we got the women's title match. Nox Vulgaris is going to be defending the title against a Ruthless member, Ann Bonnie.
I mean, have to go with Ann on that one, huh?
Of course.
I like Ann on that one. I will say that, but Nox has been intimidating so far in the women's division. I think Ann's got her hands full in that one.
Oh, it should be a hell of a match, but
Ann does very well with her hands full.
How many?
What?
Anyway, I'm going to go on.
Ann and Cotton. Whew.
All right, so I'm going to go on to the Deuces Wild Tag Title Tournament / Championship match. All that's left is the one match, and it is, of course, Ruthless Incorporated. So far, been mostly Orcus and Laszlo teaming up. Rain did sub in once there. They're going to be taking on the FBI, which is a Big Tito and somebody we all know and hate, Antonio Bonomo.
Yeah. We had our issues with him before.
You know, and I hate to say it this way, and I hope it doesn't go this way. Tonight, I had a flashback to Antonio Bonomo 2 years ago when Jalen Paul pulled the upset against Lord Amadeus. I hope that doesn't happen again at the pay-per-view and we see Antonio Bonomo taking those tag titles away.
Why would you jinx us like that?
I'm just saying. We had a young upstart pull this crap on us 2 years ago.
True.
Jalen Paul did it again tonight.
It's true, but I don't think they would like the response if it happened again.
So, I guess, are we going to find out in advance? Is it going to be Orcus and Laszlo? Are we changing up the team any? Or are you going to make us wait till the show anyway?
I'm going to make you wait. Why should I give their opponents the advantage of knowing who to study for?
I get it. It is the Freebird rule.
They will be facing 2 members of Ruthless.
I get it. But I want to know. There's the problem. I want to know. And now with Stone here too, I'm just like, the possibilities
talk after the show.
But I can't do another show and give it away, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, see, Minnie handling me again. That's kind of how that goes.
You love it when I handle you, D.
This is true. Just make sure you got the girls ready for the hot tub after this.
I'm letting her take charge of this time. I'm just standing back and approving what needs approved.
Enjoying the show, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, and then the last, of course, has been talked about ad nauseum. The Universal Title Tournament, the semifinals and the finals. We got James Harris against Andy Price. Somehow I just mixed the two of those. And then War versus Ethan Moore. I have to assume we're gonna predict Ethan in the bottom half of that. I hope he doesn't overlook War because War is dangerous. But at the top part,
it's hard to overlook him unless you stand on a chair. He's very tall.
That is true too. But as far as Ethan, we've gave him some strategies, like run around, make War chase you until he passes out from lack of air.
Your son's very spry.
He is. He's come a long way, and he's looking to get his hands on his first Universal title. He's very hungry, and I think he's capable.
And we have seen him face big people before and beat them. So let's be honest about that.
Yeah, including yours truly. But anyway, we'll go back to the other half of the bracket. James Harris, Andy Price. Kind of a big man, little man scenario there. Although James, he wrestles that MMA style. He really doesn't use his size to his advantage. Andy Price is actually more of the punch, kick, brawl mentality. Who do you like on that side?
I think I'm gonna have to put my money on the Kiwi.
Yeah, I'll go with that too.
Oh God. Sorry, you said Kiwi. My flashback goes to Kiwi,
No,
who was
no,
a horrible wrestler in the 90s.
no. We're not talking about Kiwi.
I mean, he might win that match too. Who knows?
I mean, for as much
Wow.
difference as it makes to us, sure, we'll go with Kiwi.
Kiwi. All right. So anyway, then we're looking at a finals of Andy Price versus Ethan Moore. I think that would be a hell of a title match.
That would be a fantastic title match, and it'd be great to watch Ethan bring another belt to Ruthless.
And there you go. And it would be a shootout versus Madness. Andy Price being the only member of the Madness roster still alive in that tournament. So I think I'm kind of rooting for him from that standpoint too, because I'd love to see both shows be represented in the finals, and that's the only way that I'm guaranteed that. So anyway, nobody else is in the green room, so I'm assuming nobody else wants to talk tonight. So when people complain that Maverick is ruthless all the time, well, I am ruthless all the time, and if y'all don't stand up to come in here and talk against ruthless, then I know my buddies are going to show up and be on the wrap-up shows, and so the wrap-up shows are going to be ruthless.
I mean, that means that people are scared to come talk to us?
Should we announce the new Ruthless show that's possibly coming about then?
I think that's a fantastic idea if he doesn't mind.
I don't mind at all.
There's in the works, we'll say it that way. It's not 100% yet, but it's in the works. A Ruthless News.
Ruthless News over on your channel, I assume.
Over on the Ruthless channel, yes.
All right, that would be fun. Be all Ruthless everywhere?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice. Well, I look forward to that. I've seen snidbits of what you got in mind and what you're working towards. I love it. I think it'll be great. I think the more we can expand the digital options for digital wrestling, the better we're doing for everybody. I think all the shows grow if we just keep doing stuff like this, stuff like what you're talking about with Ruthless News. I love the Get Blazed show as another example of something you can do that's not quite just the wrestling, but it adds to the wrestling.
Yeah, and for anybody that I'll go out of character for this part, I guess. For anybody that don't know what we're actually doing, we're talking about doing a Ruthless News or something to the line of the name of that, where we talk about all the stuff that's happening to Ruthless Incorporated in the digital shows from all shows, as well as doing our take in character, mind you. These will all be done in character. Our take on what happened on like WWE, AEW, and all that. Ruthless take on all that.
So for those of you who always wanted to know what Ruthless thinks about anything, you will get to find out.
Yeah, pretty much. And it will
we
be
do
in
not
character.
hold back.
Most of it will be in character. Because, I mean, obviously, some of it, you're going to get a lot of real feelings on the real wrestling stuff. But
It's going to be a not safe for work show. We'll go ahead and warn you now.
Definitely not safe for work.
Yeah, I like it. I think it would be a lot of fun. I don't even know that we have to stick to wrestling. I think we could give a ruthless opinion on just about anything. You know, maybe I'll come on there and review every titty bar in each town I went to that week. I don't know.
That'd be fantastic.
All right. Well, anything else we want to talk about?
The information.
People want to know. People want to know. And which ones I actually took the thong off in versus the ones I kept the thong on. Yeah. Anyway.
You know it's a bad titty bar if he keeps his thong on.
True.
That's right. That's right. Usually it's so weighted down from dollar bills, you know. The dancers are tipping me. It's just the way it goes. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut this off of here. I got nothing else. Nobody else wants to talk, so we will call it a night. I want to thank everybody for joining us here on the wrap-up show. Bill Haight, the Mighty Minerva, coming on, talking with me, talking about Shootout. I will be live on Wednesday afternoon. I don't know an exact time, so keep your ding-ding clicked so you know when we go on the air, and we'll see you for Destiny. this Wednesday. Have a good night now. D-Train is out of here.